ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We have been looking at the 6th chapter, verses on Dhyana Swarupa and its definition and its various effects. We saw many such effects and definitions. What happens during Dhyanam, which is the focus on Ishvara and the repetition of the mantra. And then that is done alongside the Shravanam. And then the other one is called Nididhyasana, that which is done after the gain of the knowledge to assimilate the knowledge deeper. So in the Shastra, we make a distinction between Atma Jnanam and then Atma Jnana Nishtha. Mishta, as I have said in other contexts, is Nitaram Sthitihi. Nitaram Sthitihi iti Nishtha. So, Nishtha means total, deep, and an abidance in which there is no return. That is what is called Nishtha, a commitment, a committed abidance from which there is no going back. And Jnanam means I have the knowledge, I know I am Brahman, but ... I don't behave like Brahman. I get angry, I get upset, I have, I think I have misconceptions still sometimes that linger in difficult situations when I am facing challenges and in the everyday life. So this is not this doesn't mean the person doesn't know, but there is the need for making this knowledge one's own, and that is what is called Nishtha. It's like in anything, cooking Nishtha. In the beginning, the person who is cooking has to keep on checking the recipe book or the iPad or the phone, wherever the recipe is, because one is a cooking jnani, no doubt, but not fully comfortable and not abiding in the cooking jnana nishtha, so constantly needs to check and may forget to put one or two ingredients in the cooking. Whereas somebody who's been cooking for a long time, you can tie the eyes and then they will just do it out of habit. That cooking has become a habit for whom? An effortless habit. No need for recipe books, no need for any kind of measurements. And we see the grandmas and mothers in the tradition do that. Oh, how many? 50 people are coming? All right, this much salt, this much chili powder, nobody measures. They just put it. And the food is delicious because they are used to it. In fact, they don't even taste the food. They just serve it. They are so sure. This is cooking nishtha. Similarly, a person riding a bicycle, in the beginning you have to get so many instructions. Keep the head focused on the road, keep it straight and go straight. Samam kaya shiro grivam, almost like that. And don't go here, don't go there, pedal like this, all this. Still, one has frequent falls. And afterwards what? You don't even, afterwards you are a cyclist who has nishtha, and the cyclist who has nishtha doesn't even need to hold the handlebars. Without the handlebars, one can pedal and go. In fact, one can sit on the handlebar and ride the bicycle backwards, and one can do all kinds of things because one has nishtha. Jnana nishtha is also like that. We can't call it practicing jnanam Just like we say practicing cycling, practicing music, practicing cooking, because here there is nothing to practice. It just means that the jnana nishtha just means that I haven't come away from, the jnana nishtha means that I have come away from opposite conclusions about the viparita bhavana. All these bhavanas have been dismissed for me. This is jnana nishtha. So we saw how there is a gradual process from bringing the mind back to oneself and throwing it back upon oneself from from the drishya varga, from the group of objects which are surrounding one, and how do I relate to the group of objects? Through the thought. So while I am with myself, the thoughts of the objects can still remain, and so I bring the mind back repeatedly. All this we saw, and we also saw that yam labdhva na aparam labham. So the best gain and the best present is this jnana nishtha, which is not like some kind of an ornament. Oh, I have jnana nishtha. I can't put a board and it won't mean anything. In fact, people, if I put a board saying I have jnana nishtha, people will look at me and get bored. That's what will be the use of that board. It will be a very boring board. And so therefore that's not the point. Jnana nishtha gives its present very, very beautifully. And what is the present it gives? Dukkhena api guruna na vichalyate. It does not agitate. Vichalyate means it does not cause agitation, even when you are confronted with the greatest of sorrows. Guruna dukkhena means, doesn't mean the dukkha in the form of the guru. Guruna, don't go, with your newly learned Sanskrit. Guruna. So, guru, guravaha, gurum, guru, gurun. Guruna, third case. Guruna dukkhena. So the dukkha in the form of the guru. Dukkha for which the guru is the instrument. No. Here guru is not masculine word. Guru is neuter. Yeah. And so neuter. It runs like madhu. So that is the idea. So guru here is neuter word, not masculine. So guruna, third case, same, means by the guru means big here, big, opposite of laghu. So guruna api dukkhena na vichalyate. The person is not shaken up even by the greatest of challenges or calamities that one has to face. Because calamities one will have to face. That is part of life. Calamities are there because karma is there, and one still, even the jnani still has a body, and then you see the fun of it all, and you see that, oh, there is a heart. What is it meant for? Having a heart attack. That's its purpose. Liver is there just to fail. Kidneys are there to get some kind of renal disease. Kidneys are meant for dialysis. Stomach is meant for ulcer. All this we can see. That's how it is set up. And so difficulties come. Prarabdha keeps unfolding and difficulties come, but one is not shaken up by the difficulties. We saw the prasada of dhyanam and nididhyasanam both. And Lord Krishna does a wonderful two-in-one job. If you are a jnani, then you are doing and studying these verses, you are doing what? Nididhyasana. If you are a jnani, wanna be, then you are doing dhyanam, saguna brahma, manasa vyapara. And so this is the 22nd verse. Now in the 23rd verse is very important. I want you to mark it in the 6th chapter, because it gives us the third definition of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. The first definition we came across in chapter 248. The second definition we came across in chapter 2, verse 50. And the third definition is in chapter 6, verse 23. What was the first definition? Samatvam siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity is yoga. First definition. And we have seen this in detail. And the second definition was yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Dexterity in interpreting and abiding in dharma is yoga. So these two are external definitions. External in the sense that they apply to me and my relationship to the everyday world of objects, people, situations, things, etc. So even if there are no people, I have to relate to all other beings. But there happen to be people and there are things, people, everything. And how I deal with them is yoga. So the two definitions are external definitions of what yoga is. The first one is samatvam yoga uchyate. No matter what happens, my attitude is that of equal. I receive the karma phala equally, whether it is what? Whether it is pleasurable or unpleasant. I receive the karma phala with equanimity. So that is the first one, because that is again external. Karma phala and then me receiving it, all these things, because it is dependent upon the world and people in the world give me my karma phala. And so then the next one is yoga karmasu kaushalam. So then the next one, in verse number 50, what was the definition? Yoga karmasu kaushalam, where the interpretation of dharma in different situations is indeed called yoga. Now here in verse 23, the yoga is defined from the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex, from the standpoint of the mind and the emotion. So emotional maturity and spiritual growth, as we have seen, go together. And so that emotional maturity and how to deal with that and what kind of an inner temperament I have is the subject matter of the third definition of the yoga. Let us chant the verse. Tam vidyat dukkha samyoga. Tam vidyat dukkha samyoga. Viyogam yoga samyitam. Viyogam yoga samyitam. Sanishchayena yoktavyaha. Sanishchayena yoktavyaha. Yogo nirvinna chetasa. Yogo nirvinna chetasa. This is the verse. Tam vidyat. Know that. What is it that I have to know? Know that. Tam vidyat yoga samgitam. Know this to be the definition of yoga. Now what is the definition of yoga? Tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samgitam. So what is the definition of yoga? Dukkha samyoga viyoga. Very funny and interesting definition with a bonus word play. Dukkha samyoga means union with or association with sorrow. Viyoga, separation, delinking, uncoupling, cutting the cords, that is called viyoga, separation, dissociation. So then what is yoga? Dissociate. Yoga is actually viyoga. Nice wordplay. Yoga is actually viyoga, separation, dissociation. So usually coming together is called yoga. Here separation is being called yoga. Know that to be yoga, which is conscious dissociation from association with sorrow. What was all that about? Can you say a few more words and make it a little more unclear? What is this about? Yoga is ... Dissociation from association with sorrow. This means what? That there must be I mean, if we just give up the word play and focus on the message, then it is a very, very beautiful message. So, dissociation from. So, you do viyoga, dissociation from. Dissociation from what? Association with sorrow. So that means there is an assumption that the Gita is making that there is an association with sorrow. Yes, check. That is a correct definition. There is an association with sorrow which is being negated as a practice, and that dissociation from association with sorrow is called yoga, an inward looking definition of yoga. Not that the other two are not inward looking, but they have to do more with being in the world and feeling comfortable being in the world. This one has more to do with feeling comfortable being in one's own skin. So let us see this in a little more detail. Oh, what happened to the English text? Why I have to read Devanagari? Some people are thinking, and some people are thinking, thank God there is Devanagari, I can enjoy now. Yeah, enjoy. But what about the people who are not enjoying? You also enjoy. It's okay. No problem. So, tam vidyat means know that. What is that? Dukkha sanyoga viyogam. Viyogam, separation. Dukkha samyoga viyogam. Separation from union with sorrow. Yoga samgitam is called yoga. And sa nishchayena yoktavyaha. This yoga must be practiced for sure with a firm conviction. Nishchaya, firm conviction. This yoga must be practiced daily until it is mastered with a firmness of conviction, whatever firm conviction that one can command. This yoga must be practiced. How? Yoga anirvinna chetasa. स योगः निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः अनिर्विण्णचेतसा. Anirvinna means the one whose mind, heart is not sad, hopeless, given up. That is the idea. So, for the one for whom the mind hasn't given up, the mind has not sunk into depression. Like, oh, I have association. First I have sorrow, and then what? Then I read the Bhagavad Gita and find out I have association. I suffer from association with sorrow, and then what? Now I have to look for dissociation from association with sorrow, and then as a result I am despondent. This is the general confusion. But that's not the case here. What is dissociation from association with sorrow? Before we get to that, first we have to see what is association with sorrow. That which is somebody's habitual state. Any word you can think of, one can become sad in 2 minutes. In fact, if I had been there, present, I would have asked the question, give me any word and I'll make all of you sad in less than 2 minutes. I can do that. Why? Because association with sorrow is a given. So I did this once somewhere in another group where I was giving a talk, and somebody said flowers. And they said, oh, you can't make me sad because flower is such a beautiful thought and a beautiful object even. And so how can you make me sad? You can't make me sad. I said flowers. and they are all grown in pesticides, and pesticides are sprayed on them so that you can have your little bouquet in home, and you can give it to somebody's birthday. And flowers, when they are cut, they are put in this chemical solution. They are washed in a chemical solution. And where is this happening? In Colombia. In Colombia, ask Louisa. She may be able to tell you this. In Colombia, which is one of the big hubs of the flower trade, the flowers are grown and they are sent to northern European countries, and then they will be all packed and sent over there. And the people who are growing the flowers have, because of all the spray used, they have lung cancer and, cancer in the hands, and or the hands are all peeling off because of the constant contact with this with various toxic chemicals. And so now, how is everybody feeling? Happy? No. See, even the word flower can take one to sadness. This is how the mind works. It is a mechanical fellow. It just goes from thought to thought to thought to thought and thinks itself to sorrow. How it does that is a mystery, because it is some kind of a habit. It's a mystery because it's a habit. It's a habitual orientation. It's a very bad habit. It's a habit of it's a, what is that called? Samsara habit of somebody in samsara. And so in samsara, one grows up thinking oneself into sadness. Anything can make one sad. Anything that can trigger this sadness, I allow that sadness to be triggered. Why? For two reasons. One is because I'm not, because one is not introspective by nature. And so one allows the sorrow to be triggered, and before it is too late, one cannot understand the reason why it is here, interrogate the reasons, work with the reasons, etc. That is one reason. And the second reason the sorrow gets triggered is that there is some kind of a situation which is familiar, and that's why it gets triggered. This situation reminds me of the primary caregivers. This situation reminds me of a bad memory from the past. This situation is triggering because everybody always thinks I am an idiot. And so this situation I find to be very triggering. This is what people say. And so that's the second reason. The third reason why one thinks oneself into sorrow, first is it's a habit. Second is there is enough in the unconscious mind for it to come out frequently whenever there is some kind of a connection. That connection of via the memory is called association. Then the third reason why I think myself to sorrow is because there is Pujya Swamiji used to always say this. It's only the sad person that becomes sad. There is sorrow already present. And I keep looking to squeeze every situation into that sorrow, in the compartment. Why? Because I feel that if I keep talking about the sorrow, if I keep feeling the sorrow, it will go away. It will have an airing and go away. No. Only when I interrogate it in the light of the Shastra, when I shine the light of the Shastra, sorrow says, who, me? I don't even exist. I'm gone. But otherwise, what does sorrow say? I'm here, you're not paying any attention to me. But look, this is such a happy occasion. Yeah, a happy occasion for them. What am I getting out of it? Why me? But do you like being sad? Not particularly. Then why are you sad? Why are you thinking yourself to sadness all the time? Because, when there is an itch, you have to scratch. It is disturbing. The sorrow is like an itch, and the more you scratch, the more it bleeds. The more you scratch it, the more it pains, the more it hurts, the more it bleeds. It bleeds, it hurts, it pains. So this is called the rehearsal of the sorrow. Do we want rehearsal of the sorrow? No. We have enough samsara rehearsals and we have real life drama also. We do not want the rehearsal of the sorrow. What do we want? Reversal of the sorrow. So therefore, tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogaha is called yoga. So therefore, I have to first see the meaning of association with sorrow and why that happens. We have just done that. We have given 3 reasons why the human mind has, I won't say affinity, but a habitual orientation towards sorrow. A habitual orientation. Once I know this, then I have to be alert. I have to be alert. It's like the Buddhist people, in the Buddhist ashrams you go. It's a very beautiful practice. Suddenly they'll ring the bell. And then everybody, no matter what they are doing, and they do a lot of seva, they are publishing books in the publication department, they are cooking in the kitchen, they are arranging the meditation hall, they are doing all kinds of things. When they hear the bell, they stop. No matter what they are doing, midstream they stop. And they take the time to come back to themselves. They won't call it that. We are calling it that. But, they take the time to be aware and watch the thoughts. This is a wonderful practice. It is called, what is that? Zen practice. In fact, the Japanese word Zen comes, no surprise, from the Sanskrit word Dhyanam. In China and Taiwan, the same word Zen and Dhyanam is in their language kind of called Chan. Same thing, Dhyan, Chan. So Chan, Zen, Dhyanam, all one. And so when the bell rings, and they're accustomed to that because their teaching is all about this mindfulness. It has come from this practice only. It has come from the Yoga Sutras. It has come from the Bhagavad Gita. It has come from the Upanishads. And in Buddhism, they highlighted these 2 practices, the mindfulness and ahimsa. They highlight these 2 things a lot in that tradition. But the source is all from here only. And so there, when the bell rings, I become alert. I stop going down the rabbit hole. Rabbit hole means we don't know where it is leading. It's leading to some terribly dark dungeon. And I don't want to go there. But I'm going there even though I don't want to go there. Like the person who said, I can't sleep at night because I'm seeing horror movies just before going to sleep. And I said, stop seeing horror movies. She says, I can't. And so this is the idea. And so when the bell rings, I stop doing whatever I'm doing. I stop thinking whatever I'm thinking. Come back to the observer, the sakshi. Just like that, I have to have an internal bell, an internal form of discipline, and more about that in the successive verses, an internal form of discipline that will stop me in my tracks of going down the rabbit hole of sorrow. Unbeknownst to me, I was going. And so now how to do this, how to stop the sorrow from, how to do that. You don't need to stop the sorrow. First, you have to know that you are going down this rabbit hole. First, you have to understand that. So, how to understand that? Come back to the sakshi. Come back to the sakshi. Oh, but I'm far away from the sakshi. I don't know where the sakshi is. The sakshi is not available. Sakshi is ever available. As consciousness that obtains in this body, mind, sense complex. You can say, okay, somebody rings the bell and says, oh, where is your spouse? Oh, they have gone to the market. Where are your children? They are in school. That's different. And then again, where is the sakshi? Oh, gone to the movies. You cannot say the sakshi is at the movies. Sakshi is not at the movies. The presence of the sakshi in the body is the mover and shaker of all things. The sakshi cannot afford to go to the movies. The sakshi is very much with you. So I have to get to the place of sakshi and the sorrow and thinking myself to this tamasic place of in a foul smelling dungeon. I have to stop. I have to reverse the sorrow, not rehearse it. How to do that? First point, get into sakshita. Get into observing how it is going. And then as you observe, as you become familiar with the ways of the mind, then you will also know many things. You will know that, you will know when exactly you are triggered. You will know how the triggering is taking place. You will know, oh, this situation, okay, maybe I should avoid certain kind of situations until I'm strong enough. Why expose myself to these situations that will make me sad? And then maybe I should avoid certain kind of people who are hypercritical, who are toxic, who do all these things. And the people are not toxic behavior, whose behavior is difficult for me to deal with right now. And because it is highly triggering. So then I protect myself from all that. So then you see so much information the Sakshita gives. The being in the Sakshi mode gives me so much information about why is it I habitually go down. So that's the first thing, get into the mode of Sakshi. Second thing, learn to use the punctuation mark called full stop after every thought. So have a lot of full stops in a bag. Mentally visualize a limitless bag of full stops. Because the full stop is a small little thing. It does not occupy a lot of space. And so full stop is a small thing. So you can put a little bag, one of those cute drawstring bags, a little pouch, and then put a lot of full stops, visualize it. And after every thought, visualize the thought in the sky, in the air, and put a full stop. Oh, today I think I'm going to have a bad day because, full stop. No, but I want to continue. I'm going to have a bad day, full stop. Oh, okay. Well, let me just put it in the form of a next sentence. Ahankara is very clever. Ahankara will try to sidestep the full stop and make another sentence. I said that I was going to have a bad day because full stop. But let me tell you the reason. Because it's full stop. No because. No clauses. No clauses. Nothing. Full stop. Well, I'm having a bad feeling. Full stop. I don't think I can do this. Full stop. I'll never get moksha. That's not true. You are already free. But anyhow, back to the full stop. So one more full stop I take from the bag and hang it on the thought which is in the air. Put it after the thought. Nobody loves me. Full stop. Because if you make it into a comma, then there will be reasons, then there will be a list of people who you think don't love you, and on and on and on and on and on and on. Without a break. On and on and on. So this is the situation. And so the second part of this practice is putting the full stop. The habit of putting full stops is a very, very healthy habit. This is how jnanis live. This is exactly how jnanis live. So you put a full stop, meaning when you put a full stop after the thought, and when the thought turns into speech, the speech is mita. Mita bhashi, one becomes, one talks only as much as is needed, one talks in few words, one talks consciously and deliberately, and one doesn't get into trouble, either with others or with the thoughts. This is amazing. And then, so that's the second friendly tip, how to get out of associating with sorrow, how to have dissociation. The third tip is given by Lord Krishna himself in the second line. Sanishchayena yoktavyaha. This must be practiced regularly. How? Anirvinna chetasa. With a mind that is pleased. With a pleased mind. Non-despondent mind. Because this is a very sneaky thing. Sneaky means it's this dissociation from association with sorrow. Why is it sneaky? Well, because as I'm trying to put the full stop and as I'm practicing this meditation and these meditative practices, the sorrow sets in. The sorrow becomes stronger and stronger in the beginning and says, and it might say, what's the use? How many full stops have you wasted? Has anything happened? No, see, I'm still sad. And so, therefore, you have to put this, you have to gag the sad person, suspend them, put them aside, and cheerfully put the full stops, no matter how despondent and out of patience you get. Okay, very important verse, beautiful verse. And then further, this full stop is described here. Okay, further is what? Yeah, here. Let me share the text. Are you able to see the text? You may be, but I'm not able to see here. Well, here, yes. So, संकल्प प्रभवान् कामान् संकल्प प्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः इन्द्रियग्रामम् मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामम् विनियम्य समन्ततः संकल्प प्रभवान् कामान्. Those kamas, those desires that are born or that have arisen, forcefully arisen, prakarshena bhavan prabhava, that have forcefully arisen from what? Sankalpa. Some kind of a, what is that called? Imagination, intention, an unconscious intention. So the desires arising in and through the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, the desires which haven't been interrogated and which produce karma. First, it is in the form of a sankalpa, a small fancy, and before you know it, it becomes prabala. It arises in the form of karma. And so, tyaktva sarvan, giving up all of them. How? Asheshataha, without anything remaining, without any remainders. Nothing remains. Asheshataha, all of them I will throw it away. How? Manasa. With the help of the sankalpa, another sankalpa in the mind. What kind of some sankalpa is going to tell later on? Dhriti, with a courageous mind. So by the mind it is given up. Manasa eva, only by the mind. And how is this given up? Viniyamya samantataha. By disciplining, samantataha means all around. By disciplining all around what? Indriyagramam. Indriyagramam means a village where the Indriyas live. No. Gramam here means a cluster. In fact, the word village, Gramam, is so called, Grama is so called because it is full of clusters of houses. That's why it is called Grama. And so Indriya Gramam means a group of Indriyas or a cluster of Indriyas. And so therefore, Manasa eva Indriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantataha. So this is the means, and this is what needs to be done. So what needs to be done is given in the first two lines. How to do it is given in the second two lines. And so this Manasa is like is follows the maxim. The word Manasa follows the maxim of the lamp on the threshold maxim. Dehali Deepanyaya. Dehali means the compound, the threshold between outside and the house. So when you keep the lamp there, what happens? Does it light up the outside or the inside? It lights up both outside and inside. And so therefore, the word Manasa goes both ways. Manasa Indriya Gramam Samantataha Viniyamya. One clause. With the mind, with the help of the mind, the group of Indriyas having disciplined the group of Indriyas with the help of the mind. And then the Prabhavan Kaman, Santhalpa Prabhavan Kaman, Santhalpaihi Prabhavan Kaman, Tyaktva. How Tyaktva? Manasa Tyaktva. Mentally giving up. Because you don't physically go in and give up. Manasa Tyaktva. Sarvan Manasa Tyaktva Asheshatah. Manasa Eva. That's why the Evakara is there. Because this Manasa is being used like the compound light or the threshold light. The lamp on the threshold illumining outside the house and inside the house, or the lamp on the compound wall between two houses shedding the light this side and that side as well. So this is a very beautiful practice here, and a practice that we have already encountered where in the close of chapter 2. So this is at the close of chapter 2. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah sangahateshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodhah abhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohah sammohat smriti vibhramah smriti bhramshat buddhinashah buddhinashat pranashyati. This is the regular person coming under the succumbing to the sankalpa, coming under the spell of the sankalpa, thinking, oh, it's just one small sankalpa. Oh, it becomes a conflagration, a huge fire, out of which we cannot get out afterwards. The sankalpa turns into kama, the kama strengthens, and then the kama doesn't get its way, so it turns into krodha, then it eats up the person. Whereas this is the ajnani. Whereas the jnani, raga dvesha viyuktaistu. And then, so the person who is free of raga dveshas, what does the person do? Prajahati sarvan kama. Prajahati sarvan kama. And manogatan kaman sarvan prajahati. One gives up the fancy as soon as it comes. And that is contingent upon Atmani eva Atmana tushtah. Being happy by oneself, in oneself, for oneself. There is nothing else needed. Here also the same thing is reiterated. Prabhavan, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman. Those desires born of thoughts, born of fancies, born of some imagination. It would be lovely to have this. Yes, but it is not here, so just throw it out. Throw out the thought. Throw out the sankalpa. Tyaktva asheshatah, with the strengthened mind, with the mind that has been strengthened by meditation and chitta shuddhi, karma yoga, Throw out these useless sankalpas, otherwise they'll strengthen into a karma, just like a small little depression over the ocean strengthens into a size 4 hurricane. Just like it strengthened into a category 4 hurricane, which is huge, 185 miles an hour wind, everything goes. The whole village it has for breakfast, this particular tornado. And the Sankalpa is like that. It starts like a small depression in the mind. I'm sad, I don't have this. And then it turns into this huge tornado. And so, therefore, this is the way to put a full stop. Throw out the offensive sankalpa because it will just lead you to sorrow. And then what? Then manasa eva indriya gramam niyamya vartate. Disciplining the sense organs. You can't tie up the eyes and the ears. Then, if you do that, you won't be able to walk, and you will bump into things. And so, it's about and having a rich inward focus and a rich inward life. Okay, next one. Shanai shanairuparameth buddhya dhriti grihitaya. Shanai shanairuparameth buddhya dhriti grihitaya. आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्. आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्. This is an encouraging verse. Okay, and how is it an encouraging verse? It says, Shanai Shanaihi, step by step. What's your rush? What's the hurry? Hurry up and go do what? So there is no hurry here. Shanai Shanaihi uparame. Slowly, slowly, the mind will come to a place of resolution. Uparama, place of resolution, a place of letting go. Letting go is uparama. And Shanai Shanaihi, slowly, slowly, the mind will let go of the sankalpa. How? Because it is ruled by the buddhi. What kind of buddhi? It is a buddhi that is fortified by dhriti, courage. A buddhi that is infused with courage is at the back of this uparati, and so therefore do not worry. You keep doing your growth, you keep doing your studies, and then you keep doing your meditation practice, and then buddhya dhriti grihitaya. So the buddhi that is possessed of dhriti, courage, not a puk buddhi. I can't do this, I don't know how to do this, oh my god, I'm going to give up, oh my god, I can't handle it. Not a pessimistic buddhi, but an optimistic, healthy, happy buddhi, which is fortified by dhriti, courage. And then what does this buddhi help you to do? The buddhi is like a goalkeeper. It puts out all the balls which don't belong. It protects the goal for the team. It does not let the other team, called Ragadvesha team, score any goals. So the goalkeeper has to be very alert. As soon as the ball is coming anywhere near the goal, kicks it back. So that's what it means. Atma samstham manah kritva. So when all the prabhavan sankalpan, the sankalpa prabhavan kaman, all the kamas are not given the time of day, and when the mind is in charge of getting back to the sakshi, behind the mind is the buddhi, and the buddhi is fortified by courage, then what happens? Shanai shanaihi uparame. Slowly, slowly, step by step, one gets to know the I, which is the truth of this body, mind, sense complex. I get to know Brahman fortified by buddhi also means fortified by self-knowledge. So first step, I know that there is a sakshi. Second step, it is separate from the mind and the senses and the buddhi and the body. All this I know. And then third step, I have something called consciousness, So the fourth step, I am that consciousness. Fifth step, all this is just a projection. And the sixth step, the consciousness is my whole. That is the sixth step. Shanai Shanai hi uparam. So then, how to do that? Atma samstham manah kritva, making the mind turn towards the truth of itself, which is the Atma. The mind is fixed on knowing the Atma, the mind is fixed on the sakshi, which is Atma, in meditation. Na kinchidapi chintayet. Don't think of anything else other than the vritti of dwelling upon the Atma. That is the idea. Next one. This L should be converted as R, okay, as we chant this. Yato yato nischarati, yato yato nischarati, manaschanchalamastiram, yato yato nischarati, manaschanchalamastiram, yato yato nischarati, मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. How to do this meditation is given here. We have gone through this already, so this will be relatively quick because we saw this earlier. Yato yato nischarati. Each time the mind moves away. From what? From being fixed on itself. Atma samstham manah kritva, it was said. So from this Atma samsthanam, if the mind keeps moving away, yato yato, whenever, yatra yatra, wherever, whenever it moves away, what is the mind? Chanchalam, chanchalasvabhavam, chanchalasvabhavam, that which enjoys a kind of a fickleness, chanchalatvam, chanchalya, fickleness, meaning it's never in one place at a given time. It keeps going, jumping like a frog. And then it is asthiram, therefore it cannot be banked on. 1 minute it's thinking of something, another minute it is thinking of totally something else, and so it cannot be banked upon at all, this mind. So this mind, which is both, which suffers from chanchalyam as far as the meditation goes, and asthirata, asthairyam, both of them, both these things, it suffers from movement and the inability to focus. So each time the mind moves away from the object of meditation, whether it is Ishvara or the self, then tatastataha, repeatedly, niyamya etat niyamya atmani eva vasham naye. Bring it back to yourself. And you are the observer of the mind. Observe the mind repeatedly. Whenever it goes, bring it back. If it doesn't go, it's not meditation. Then it is an absorption. But here we are talking of dhyanam and it's a meditation. So whenever it goes, bring it back repeatedly. Like a small mother who is walking a small child, taking a small toddler for a walk. And the toddler goes into the bushes and tries to sit there and eat something. And the mother slowly, brushes off all the twigs and the leaves and the dust from the clothes of the child and brings her back to the footpath. This is the place to walk, not over there. And 2 minutes later, the child has got down from the footpath and it is going towards the traffic. And then again, the mother, she can't afford to get angry or startle the child. She has to bring her back slowly and then again get her from the safety, get her back to the safety of the footpath. So similarly, you, the sakshi, have to be the mother to the mind and repeatedly bring it back and then focus on the Atma, focus on the self. Next one. Prashant Manasam Hyenam Yoginam योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसम् उपैति शान्तरजसम् ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम् ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्. Here the phala is given. The phala is given of this kind of a practice of bringing the mind back, dissociating from association with sorrow, etc. So, Prashanta Manasam, Hi Enam Yoginam, Sukham Uttamam, so Shantarajasam. So, this yogi is described through many beautiful words. Very lovely words are being used to describe this yogi. And so let us see. First is Prashanta Manasaha. So tam Prashanta Manasam. So then Prashanta Manasam means the Prashantam Manaha Yasya Tam, the one who is enjoying a tranquil mind. He enam, indeed, this yoginam, this yogi, sukham uttamam upaiti, sukham uttamam upaiti, gains unparalleled joy. Uttamam, the best kind of ananda. What is the best kind of ananda? That which never comes to an end. The best kind of ananda is gained by this yogi who enjoys tranquil mind. How did the yogi enjoy tranquil mind? He took a tranquilizer? No, he did not take a tranquilizer. She naturally enjoys this calm, tranquil mind because of the practice of meditation and because of being exposed to the knowledge of the Atma. So, Upaiti, gains. And who is this yogi? Prashanta Manasam. And then the person who is Prashanta, who enjoys a peaceful mind. And then Shantarajasaha. Shantam Rajo Yasya Saha, for whom the Rajas has been calmed down, subsided. The passionate nature of just being reactive all the time has subsided, has gone. And then for him or for her who is Brahma Bhutam, who is nothing other than Brahman. What kind of Brahman? Akalmasham, sinless, without any papa, free of papa punya. This yogi is nothing but Brahman. Who is this yogi? The one who is enjoying the best kind of sukha, which is centered on the self, not on objects, and who is of tranquil mind, and who is free of rajas, and who is non-separate from Brahman. That person enjoys the greatest of happiness. Absolutely the greatest of happiness. And then next one. So therefore what to do? Yunjan evam sadatmanam, Yunjan evam sadatmanam, Yogi vigata kalmashaha, Yogi vigata kalmashaha, Sukhena brahma samsparsham, Sukhena brahma samsparsham, Atyantam sukhamashnute, Atyantam sukhamashnute. The basic sentence here is Yogi Atyantam sukham ashnute. Or first we just take Yogi ashnute. The yogi enjoys. What does the yogi enjoy? Sukham ashnute. Enjoys happiness. What kind of happiness? Atyantam sukham. A happiness that is everlasting because it is based on the I. So Brahma Sukham Ashnute. And then what? How does the yogi enjoy this? Enjoys this Sukhena. Adverb. Sukhena. Sukhena means effortlessly. Effortlessly enjoys. Easily enjoys. And then what does the person enjoys? The enjoys Sukham Ashnute, we saw that. And then Atyantam Sukham. And what is the source of this Sukham? Brahma Sparsha. Brahma Sparsham Sukham. Brahma Sparsham Sukham means that the Brahma Samsparsham, Brahma Samsparsham, that whose source is Brahman alone. Samsparsha means that which is of Brahman alone. So the yogi enjoys Brahmananda, which is Atmananda, which is what is that? Which is Atmananda centered on the I. That's what I was trying to say. Brahma Samsparsham means Brahmana Samsparshaha Nasya Tat. That which is touched by by Brahman. And that which has been touched by Brahman, what is that? Brahman itself. There's the self alone is none other than Brahman. And so this yogi and this yogi enjoys everlasting happiness, which has been touched by Brahman, which is non-separate from Brahman, very, very easily enjoys, Sukhena enjoys, and so who is this yogi? Vigata Kalmashaha. Vigata Kalmashaha, free of papa, punya, free of desires, free of raga, dvesha. And how does this yogi enjoy? What is the cause of this enjoyment? Yunjan evam, uniting in this manner, constantly practicing dhyanam in this manner, sada, atmanam. So always practicing this, what is that called? Always practicing this yoga, yunjan, practicing this dhyanam in this way, sada. This dhyanam pertaining to, connected to the self, the yogi enjoys everlasting happiness. This, of course, brings us to the very important question: what is this Brahmananda and how is it different? Is it any different from Vishayananda, or in other words, is it different from cake Ananda, ice cream Ananda, samosa Ananda, or not? We will see that in the next talk. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.